Hi, welcome to clickmyproject.com. Here we are going to see the topic called a system for timely and controlled information sharing in emergency situations. Let us see the abstract of this project. During natural disaster or emergency situation, an essential requirement for an effective emergency management is the information sharing. In this paper, we present an access control model to enforce controlled information sharing in emergency situations. An in-depth analysis of model is discussed through the paper. An administrative policy are introduced to enhance the model flexibility during emergencies. Moreover, a prototype implementation and experiment results are provided, showing the efficiency and scalability of the system. Let us see the data flow diagram of this project. First, the input is collected from the patient, such as the init and end level of the pulse or pressures. This is given as the input. Whether it is a valid or not is checked in SHP algorithm. In this SHP, there are two types: SHP simple and SHP pattern. SHP simple will depends on its sequences, attributes and function. SHP pattern will depends on its pattern and its length. After that, if it is a valid, then the condition forward to the emergency policy, else it get discarded as a post valid. And then if it is valid, then it comes to the emergency policy. In this emergency policy, patient condition and the emergency scope, TAC scope, that is temporary access control policy scope, get added to the emergency policy, and this policy gets checked with emergency administrative policy. If it get matches, then the analyzed scope will get redirected. The final result will be, if the doctor is present, the emergency will be handled by the doctor. The doctor is informed about the patient, else the mail is sent to the patient about the doctor's situations. Let us see the running procedure of this project. Run home.java. If you are a new user, then click new user and register your user and then login. Otherwise, you can go by using of old user itself. I'm registering as and my identity is P and I'm registering. After I have registered successfully, I'm redirected to the login page. In that I'm giving my username and my identity. If it is verified correctly, then it get redirected to emergency description pages. In that we have to give the patient's initial and end level of this condition. This tuple is based on init, end, timeout and identifier. This init consists of the patient's pressure at starting level. I am giving this as 80 and end level is 90 and timeout condition is null. Give the identifier as patient identifier 112 and click submit button. The emergency description will get added to the database for future retrieval. Click on OK button. Now the subject depends upon the patient and the scope, that is patient role is patient or doctor, and the condition is belong to the what's the emergency scope they all belongs to, and the objective is a patient identity. Privilege is a read or write, like that mode we have to give the privilege to that particular patient. Obligation is nothing but giving a mail ID or some contact information is given here. Here I am giving patient hypertension, and here with this patient identity 112, and privilege I am giving read. Obligation, give your mail ID. Here the mail ID get valid. If you give the wrong mail ID, the error message will get displayed. So the mail ID should be a proper mail ID. Click on submit button. Now the TACP will be added to your database. After that, the SHP condition is checked. This SHP condition is because of this init and end. If the init and end is valid, then the patient will redirect to the next emergency policy page. Otherwise, he will be discarded as a post-treated candidate. Here I am checking for SHP. Yes, SHP simple describes about the attributes, functions, and the sequences. Pattern will describe the pattern. If it is a valid, then check status as valid or post. Here the check status is valid, so click next button. Get the emergency policy, emergency scope, obligations, that is our mail ID, get patient's name. Click submit emergency policy. This is the emergency policy which will be matched with the emergency administrative policy. If this both conditions satisfies only, the patient is considered as emergency. Otherwise, he will be discarded. Click on this get button. Check the context. If it is true, then it means the doctor is available. The patient can meet a doctor. Otherwise, it is check context will be a false. Then it returns to the mail case. So here it is true. That is the mail field is optional. So click submit button. Get the email ID of manager, which the patient is intimated through this ID itself. If you want to update this ID, you can click give some changes and click update. Click next button. Get the emergency policy, which policy the patient belongs to. Check for policy whether the policy is already exists. If the policy is already exists, then rewrite the policy. If there is not like this policy, then create a new policy. Here the policy is already exists, so there is no problem. The policy is rewritten. Check for doctor. Here the doctor is available, and here the doctor is available. Emergency is hypertension policy, and the patient name is unknown. Doctor ID is 1. The ward will be the special care. So this information get transferred to the doctor machines. For that, run doctor machine.java. Click inform doctor about patient. Then the further patient detail will be sent to the doctor machine. So receive the patient alert. Here the patient's emergency scope as well as his name and doctor ID and ward will be indicated to the doctor. This is a one case which the doctor available. If the doctor is available, the mail to the patient will get activated. For that, again run home.java to old user and its ID is P112. Click on login button. This is the unit and end condition. Timeout 112. Click on submit button. Here the same thing, patient, but the scope is different, like high blood pressure. Give the patient identity. Privilege is free. Obligation is with m15@gmail.com. Now click on submit button. TACP will added successfully. Now check for SHP. So go to the next. Here the emergency policy is created for particular patient. After creating emergency policy, the emergency administrative policy gets checked with the emergency policy. Here the CTX is false, so doctor is not available for a particular patient. So click on this obligation, in which the mail will be sent to the patient's mail ID. The emergency administrative policy is submitted. Here the emergency manager's name, and click on next button. Get. So emergency policy already exists. Click check for doctor. Here there is a no doctor available, so the mail field get activated. So click mail to the patient button. After the mail gets sent, you get a pop-up of email sent successfully. So the mail gets sent to the particular patient about the doctor's situation. Thank you for watching.